NBA players are generally very tall compared to a normal person. In fact, the average height of an NBA player is 6'7", but the players in this video even make most NBA players look small. Today, we're going to look at 7 players who towered over their competition. There's no doubt all of them will be immortalized in NBA history due to their massive height. And if you like NBA videos like this one, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more NBA content. I'm Nate the Hooper, and let's get right to the video. First, we have Rik. He stood at 7'4" and played his entire career with the Utah Jazz. Offensively, he didn't bring much to the table. It was on the defensive end of the floor that he stood out. He was a shot-blocking machine and solidified his legacy as one of the best defensive centers in NBA history. Eaton also holds a couple NBA records: most blocks in a season with 456, and highest career average for blocks at 3.5 a game. His best season in the NBA came in the 1984-85 season. He averaged 10 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, and 5.5 blocks per game. Eaton also has a pretty impressive career resume. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award twice, was named to 5 All-Defensive teams, led the NBA in blocks 4 seasons, and was named an All-Star 1 time. And his menacing defense and longevity with the Jazz prompted the franchise to retire his number 53. Next up, also standing at 7'4", is Rik Smits. He played 12 years in the NBA, all with the Indiana Pacers. Unlike Eaton, his game was more oriented to the offensive side of the court. He averaged 15 points a game for his career and is second all-time in scoring for the Pacers. But he was also a capable rim protector. During his time with the Pacers, they made many deep playoff runs. Throughout them, he was the number 2 player on the team behind only Reggie Miller. Rik Smits and the Pacers made it to the conference finals 4 times and the NBA finals once. But in his lone finals appearance, they lost in 6 games to the Lakers. His best statistical season came in the 1994-95 season. He averaged 18 points, 8 rebounds, and a block per game. Rik Smits maintained a great, consistent level of play during his career with Indiana, but he doesn't have many accolades to show for it. He was only named an All-Star once and was also named to the All-Rookie First Team. But it's safe to assume that the Pacers will retire his number one day due to his contributions to the team. Next is the most recent player in this video, but also the worst player in this video, Simbular. He stands at 7'5", 360 pounds, and is absolutely massive. He's also the only player in NBA history of Indian descent. He played in the D-League for the Reno Bighorns before signing with the Kings on a 10-day contract. Simbular only played 3 games for the Kings and only made 1 shot in those games. The Kings decided not to sign him to another 10-day contract, and he ended up back in the D-League in 2015. Simbular's NBA career may have only lasted a week, but I included it in this video because of how recent he played in the NBA. Next up, we have the most well-known and best player in the video, Yao Ming. He measures at 7 feet 6 inches tall and was extremely skilled on both offense and defense. He played 8 seasons in the NBA, all with the Houston Rockets after they drafted him with the number 1 pick. Yao averaged 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game for his career, and he's also 7th all-time in scoring for the Rockets. But Yao Ming and the Rockets struggled in the playoffs during his time with the team. He only made the playoffs 4 times and only won 1 playoff series in his whole career. But despite the lack of playoff success, Yao Ming had tremendous individual success with the Rockets, and his best year occurred during the 2006-2007 season. Yao Ming averaged 25 points, 9.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game, while leading the Rockets to 52 wins. Yao Ming was a star for the Houston Rockets, and he has plenty of awards to back it up. He was named an All-Star every season he played in the NBA, which amounts to 8 All-Star appearances. He was also named to 5 All-NBA teams, the All-Rookie First Team, and has his number retired by the Houston Rockets. Yao Ming finished his career top 25 in both player efficiency rating and defensive rating. And his fantastic NBA career prompted him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. The next player of the video also stood at 7'6", and that player is Shawn Bradley. He played 12 seasons in the NBA, split between the Mavericks, Sixers, and Nets. He was an excellent rim protector but had an unreliable offensive game. Despite being a good shot blocker, Bradley had a reputation of getting dunked on quite frequently. Shawn Bradley has career averages of 8 points, 6 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks. He was never one of the best players on his team, but he still had a few pretty impressive seasons. The best was in the 1996-97 season. He played for the New Jersey Nets and the Dallas Mavericks due to a mid-season trade. Shawn Bradley averaged 13 points, 8.5 rebounds, and a league-leading 3.5 blocks per game. He finished his career with very few accolades, just being named to the All-Rookie Second Team and leading the NBA in blocks once. But Shawn Bradley's off-court life was also interesting. After 1 season of college basketball, he took 2 years off from basketball for a church mission. He still ended up being drafted number 2 overall after not playing an organized basketball game for 2 years. And after Shawn Bradley retired, he actually decided to run for a seat in the Utah House of Representatives. He ended up losing the vote 47% to 51%. And he's also appeared in multiple movies and TV shows, including Space Jam. Although Shawn Bradley never turned out to be an NBA star, he still had an entertaining career in life. And next, we have Manute Bol. He stood at 7'7", and his genetics helped him out a lot. His sister and dad were both 6'8", and his mom was 6'10". Manute Bol played for 4 different NBA teams in his career: the Bullets, Warriors, 76ers, and Heat. He was extremely skinny, weighing only 200 pounds, and this limited his offensive capability. But he made up for it on the defensive side of the floor, where he put up a career average of 3.3 blocks a game. And he actually averaged more career blocks than points, which was only about 2.5 points. And although Manute Bol was never an elite player in the NBA, he was still incredibly fun to watch. He seemingly blocked every shot, and he loved to take threes when left open, despite also being the tallest player on the court. In fact, in 1993, Manute Bol had one of the craziest performances in NBA history. He made 6 threes in the second half in a game against the Suns. But he generally struggled to perform at this high level consistently. He only started more than 25 games in a season once, and his best season in the league would actually be his rookie season. He averaged 4 points, 6 rebounds, and an absurd 5 blocks a game. His career in the NBA only lasted 9 years, but the legacy of Manute Bol will not be forgotten soon. He didn't put up impressive offensive numbers, but his insane block totals warranted him a few accolades. He led the NBA in blocks twice and was named to an all-defensive team in 1986. And like Shawn Bradley, Manute Bol also has tons of interesting off-court stories, but I think that I'm going to save those for another video. Unfortunately, Manute Bol died in 2010, but his 7'2" son Bol Bol is carrying on basketball for the family. He is currently ranked the number 4 senior in the nation. And for the last player in this video, we have the tallest player in NBA history, George Mirasan. He stood at a massive 7'7", 300 pounds, and played 6 seasons in the NBA for the Bullets and Nets. Mirasan is from Romania and was picked with the 3rd overall pick in the '93 draft. Earlier in his career, he showed signs of his potential in the NBA, but his last seasons would be spoiled by injuries. Mirasan finished his career with averages of 10 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks per game. He only played 307 games in the NBA due to nagging injuries, but his best season was during 1996. George Mirasan averaged 14.5 points, 9.5 rebounds, and just over 2 blocks. His career was short, but he had a few impressive accomplishments. He led the league in field goal percentage twice, and in 1996 he won the Most Improved Player award. And like Shawn Bradley, he also appeared in a few movies, one of which he had a starring role in called My Giant. The players in this video range from 7'4" to 7'8", and made a living off of using their height on the basketball court. Some had more successful career than others, but they were all generally good defenders due to their immense stature. But their blessing was also a curse, as their height usually led to injuries. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did and want to see more NBA content, make sure to subscribe to my channel.